Hi, I'm Danielle, and I'm a registered nurse. I've cared for many patients with cardiac issues, including those with heart failure. I take complex medical conditions and break them down into human words and understandable concepts. This video is going to focus on following a low-sodium diet that is actually recommended for most adults, but especially encouraged for many heart conditions, including heart failure. I'll discuss its importance when it comes to heart failure, how much sodium is typically recommended in a low-sodium diet, and my general guidelines plus tips and tricks to reducing your salt intake. At the end, I'll explain how to read a nutrition label, so you can stick around for that if you want a little extra help. Sodium is an important and necessary electrolyte to keep the body functioning. Therefore, our goal is not to get to zero sodium intake. But sodium is naturally found in many foods and added to many more to improve the flavor or for preservation purposes. So it'd be pretty difficult to take in too little sodium and very easy to take in too much sodium. So we typically focus on limiting sodium intake and avoiding excess sodium. Minimizing sodium is especially important for heart failure because when you eat too much salt, your body retains extra water. That extra fluid can build up in your legs, abdomen, and lungs, causing swelling, shortness of breath, and extra strain on your heart. For many people with heart failure, excess sodium and fluid retention are actually among the most common reasons they end up feeling worse and needing hospitalization. However, it does need to be said that there are a few conditions that actually cause people to struggle maintaining a sufficient sodium level, and following a low sodium diet would actually be harmful. So always consult with your personal doctor if you have concerns. So how much sodium should you have in a low sodium diet? Typically less than 2 grams, which is 2,000 milligrams for the whole day. But sodium is hidden in so many foods nowadays, and minimizing it can be difficult. If you are able to, I highly recommend reading nutrition labels, calculating, and tracking your intake throughout the day. You may be surprised how much sodium you're actually consuming. But if calculating your sodium is too difficult or overwhelming, then I recommend identifying and avoiding major sodium contributors rather than tracking every single bite that you put in your mouth. For example, when we go over nutrition labels later in this video, I'm going to show that just a single slice of Domino's pizza has 850 milligrams of sodium. That one slice is 43% of your 2,000 milligram daily sodium goal. So you start to realize which foods are high in sodium, like pizza and canned soups, and either avoid them or save them for occasional treats. Try to make fresh meats, fruits, and veggies your primary sources of nutrition. Don't add salt to your dishes, minimize eating out and fast food, and when possible, choose water over sports drinks, soda, and other high sodium beverages. Following a low sodium diet can be very difficult at first, so let's talk about some tips and tricks to help you with it. I've got 13 of them, my lucky number. Number 1, know that for the first couple weeks of cutting out salt, your food is going to taste bland and you're probably not going to be happy about it. But your taste buds actually adjust, and after about 2 weeks, the food won't taste like it's missing salt anymore, and things that you enjoyed before might actually taste too salty at that point. So be patient, give it time, and stick with it. Number 2, that being said, just because you stop using salt does not mean your meals have to be flavorless. Use more herbs and spices to add flavor to your dishes. Mrs. Dash has a great line of sodium-free seasonings that you can play with. Number 3, don't add salt to your food when you're cooking, and don't keep a salt shaker on the table. Number 4, there are salt substitutes that exist, but many of them use potassium instead of sodium. If you have heart failure, check with your doctor before using them because some heart medications can already increase potassium levels. As a general rule, I suggest avoiding high sodium foods altogether. Like in our pizza example earlier, if one slice of pizza is almost half of your sodium for the whole day, you're really going to struggle finding low enough sodium foods for the rest of the day that will keep you satiated without going over your daily limit. High sodium foods include pizza, deli meats, canned meats and soups, most hard cheeses, many condiments, soy sauce, many sports drinks, and takeout. Number 6, canned veggies can also be surprisingly high in sodium, but rinsing them can help reduce some of it. Number 7, opt for the low sodium version of something if it's available and you can't do without it. But keep in mind that even though the sodium may be lower than the original version, it may still be significantly high, which is why reading the nutrition labels and keeping track of your total sodium is helpful. Number 8, I also get asked about fresh meat and produce a lot. Do they have sodium and how do we calculate it? Most fresh fruits, veggies, and raw meats are naturally very low in sodium. But some meats, especially chicken and pork, are sometimes injected with sodium solutions. So check the package if you're unsure and avoid those ones. Otherwise, I wouldn't stress about trying to include the sodium from these items. Most of the sodium you're eating is probably coming from processed, packaged, or prepared foods, so that's where I would focus your attention. Number 9, just a reminder, a fresh chicken breast and the packaged chicken that you find in the deli may both be chicken, but the deli meat usually contains more sodium because it's processed. Number 10, try to minimize how often you eat out because restaurants are notorious for adding a lot of salt to their dishes. If you do go out, request no added salt when you order your food. Number 11, avoid fast food. They're one of the biggest sodium culprits. One meal can easily consume most, if not all, of your allotted sodium for the whole day. Number 12, find some way to consistently track your daily sodium intake. If you're an analog person, then you can keep a food diary or a log. My daily CHF Manager has a section to add up the sodium from each of your meals so you can see your total daily sodium intake. But you'll probably want more space to list every food and drink item so you can keep a running total. A notebook and a calculator are recommended. But you may find an app much more useful. There are plenty of nutrition and fitness apps that allow you to enter what you ate and how much of it you ate. The app will do the math for you and keep a running daily total. These apps can also help track your fluid intake if your doctor also advises a fluid restriction. And last, number 13, you may find it helpful to divide your total daily sodium into meals. If you eat 3 meals a day, then you have roughly 667 milligrams budgeted for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. That's how it's broken down in my daily CHF Manager that you can find for free in my description. Just divide 2,000 milligrams by the number of meals you typically eat. I'm going to take a few more minutes now to talk about how to read a nutrition label. If you don't need that information, then you can turn the video off here. Thanks for watching, and please don't forget to like and subscribe, and check out some of the other heart failure videos I have on my channel. If you stuck around for the nutrition labels, let's get into it. All packaged foods are required to have a nutrition label. They can often be found online as well. If it's a package with multiples of the same product, like 6 packs of crackers in a box, then there may just be one nutrition label on the main box and the individual packages may not have them. This is a nutrition label on the back of a family-sized bag of Lay's classic potato chips. The first thing we want to pay attention to is the serving size. So we see that one serving size is about 15 chips. Then we look at the amount of sodium. This is the amount of sodium per serving. In this case, there is 170 milligrams of sodium in 15 chips. That's 170 milligrams out of the 2,000 milligrams you're allowed for the whole day. If you decided that you wanted 30 chips, that's 2 servings. So you would double the sodium, which means that consuming 30 chips would be 340 milligrams of sodium. Since you're allowed 2,000 milligrams a day, that's more than 1/6 of your daily total and leaves 1,660 milligrams for all the other foods and drinks you have for the whole day. However, if you limited yourself to only 5 chips, that would be 57 milligrams and you would have a lot more sodium for the rest of the day. Make sure that you're taking note of the units. Most nutrition labels will have the sodium in milligrams. Also, the percent of daily value is based on a 2,300 milligram diet, so don't recommend blindly following those percentages. Now let's go over that pizza example that I alluded to earlier. Let's say your boss has rewarded the team with a pizza party and they bring in some Domino's pizza for the office. You want to know how much sodium is in it. In this example, we're going to say you want some of the large Mizza specialty pizza that's topped with all the pepperoni and the sausage and the beef. So we go to the Domino's website and we search for the nutritional information. Here it's at the bottom of the page. This one opened a 21-page PDF. So we have to scroll until we find our Mizza pizza. Again, we're going to start with the serving size. So this is a large pizza. We see that one serving size is 1/8 of the pizza. We know that they slice the pizza into 8 pieces, so 1/8 of the pizza is 1 slice. Then we go over to the sodium column and we see that 1 slice of a large Mizza pizza has 850 milligrams of sodium. If you divide that by 2,000, then you realize that's 43% of your total daily sodium limit in 1 slice of pizza. So now you get to decide, is it worth it? Maybe you compromise by having half the slice. Maybe you consider a lesson in discipline and forego it altogether. I'm not one to tell you what works for you. I'm typically the kind of person that says if your diet is too strict, you're not going to be able to maintain it in the long run. But I also recognize that a couple bites can be a slippery slope and can easily lead to overindulgence. So my best advice is to start by becoming aware of what you're eating and find a balance that works for you. There's one more thing I want to point out here. Look at the serving size for a medium pizza. It's 1/5 of a pizza. But we know that they are not cutting the pizza into 5 slices. They cut the smaller pieces into 6 slices. So it makes the math even trickier because 1 slice is 1/6 of the pizza, but the nutrition label gives you the amount of sodium in 1/5 of the pizza. This shows you the importance of reading nutrition labels carefully and also how much easier the apps can make your life because they do that math for you. Maintaining a low sodium diet can definitely be difficult and overwhelming at first, but it gets better. It gets easier. And at the end of the day, you're doing this for yourself. So take care of yourself. Have you been following a low sodium diet already? Do you have any advice for someone just starting out? Let us know in the comments. Give this video a like if it was helpful so I know what kind of content to focus on in the future. And if you want to be notified when I post new videos, then you can hit that subscribe button. Thanks for watching.